What you're about to see is completely unacceptable, and I'm not holding anything back today. Welcome to WrestleScope, where we show you the real stories, the honest truth, and the moments WWE doesn't want you discussing. I'm your host, and friends, I've been following professional wrestling for years, and what just went down between Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce 1 minute ago is honestly one of the most shameful, disrespectful moments I have ever witnessed in my entire career. And here's what really bothers me. WWE is going to hide this away. They're going to act like it never happened. They're going to shield their favorite Paul Heyman while Adam Pearce, a man who's given his entire life to this business, gets publicly embarrassed on live television. But not here. Not on this channel. We're showing everything. Hello, viewers. If you're new here, please don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button for daily updates on WWE Raw. Let me ask you something, and I want you to really consider this. When did it become acceptable for a manager, not even an active wrestler, to completely destroy a WWE official's reputation on live TV without any payback? Because that's exactly what Paul Heyman just did to Adam Pearce, and I'm absolutely furious about it. Here's what went down. And I'm warning you right now, if you have any respect for leadership, if you have any appreciation for the people who work behind the scenes to make WWE function, what I'm about to share with you is going to make your blood boil. Adam Pearce, the WWE official, the man who's been working hard to keep Raw running smoothly, who's been handling egos the size of skyscrapers, who's been trying to maintain order in the absolute chaos that is WWE programming, this man was just verbally destroyed by Paul Heyman in a backstage segment that was so harsh, so planned, so utterly cruel that I honestly don't know how Pearce is supposed to show his face in that locker room again. And you want to know the worst part? The absolute worst part about all of this? Pearce couldn't even fight back. He just stood there, still, while Heyman carefully destroyed every bit of authority he had left. And the WWE Universe? They cheered. They actually cheered as a good man, a decent man, got torn apart for doing his job. I need you to comment right now, because I know I'm not the only one who's absolutely disgusted by this. Type justice for Pearce in the comments if you think this has gone too far. And if you think Heyman was in the right, type Heyman won, and let's have that debate, because I'm ready to go to war over this. Let me paint the picture for you, because context matters here. Adam Pearce has been under huge pressure lately. He's handling the bloodline drama, what's left of it. He's managing championship contenders who all think they deserve the next shot. He's got wrestlers threatening to quit, legends demanding special treatment, and management watching his every move about ratings and ticket sales. The man is stretched thinner than pizza dough at this point. So when Paul Heyman, the wise man, the advocate, the special counsel to Roman Reigns, or whoever he's representing this week, when he comes walking into Pearce's office with that smug look on his face, you know something bad is about to happen. And here's where it gets interesting, folks, because this wasn't some random fight. This was planned. This was calculated. This was Paul Heyman doing what he does best, using words to absolutely destroy someone's reputation. According to sources backstage, and yes, we have sources, because unlike some channels that just repeat whatever WWE feeds them, we actually do journalism here. According to our sources, Heyman spent days preparing for this moment. He studied Pearce's recent decisions, found every mistake, every questionable call, every moment where Pearce looked weak or unsure, and then he struck. The verbal attack lasted about 4 minutes, 4 minutes of non-stop psychological warfare. Heyman brought up Pearce's failed wrestling career. He mentioned how Pearce was never good enough to be a main eventer. He questioned his ability to make decisions. He suggested that Pearce only has his current position because he was too broken down to compete anymore. Can you imagine? Can you imagine standing there while someone carefully tears down your entire professional identity in front of cameras, knowing that millions of people are going to see this? But Heyman didn't stop there. Oh no, because Paul Heyman never just goes for the knockout. He goes for the burial. He started bringing up specific decisions Pearce has made over the past few months. The controversial finish to that title match at the last pay-per-view, Heyman blamed Pearce. The backstage fight that resulted in injuries, Pearce's fault for not having enough security. The scheduling conflicts that have left some wrestlers off TV for weeks, all Pearce's incompetence according to the wise man. And here's the genius, and I use that word with absolute contempt right now. Here's the genius of Heyman's attack. He mixed real criticisms with complete lies. He blended facts with fiction so smoothly that even people watching couldn't tell what was real and what was Heyman's twisted version of reality. But let's zoom out for a second, because this isn't just one fight. This is about a pattern of behavior that WWE has allowed for years. Paul Heyman has been getting away with this kind of thing for decades. And why? Because he's valuable, because he's a storytelling genius, because he can cut a promo better than anyone else. Well, you know what? I don't care how good your promos are, there have to be consequences for your actions. Think it out this logically. In what world does it make sense for a non-wrestler, someone who hasn't taken a bump in years, to have more power and influence than an actual WWE official? In what universe is that acceptable?
And before you jump in the comments saying, it's just a storyline, bro, or you're getting worked, let me stop you right there. Because yes, I know it's scripted, I know this is entertainment, but the problem is that WWE keeps booking their authority figures to look weak and incompetent, and it's ruining the entire power structure of the show. How are we supposed to take Adam Pearce seriously when he makes a ruling in the future if we've just watched him get verbally destroyed by a manager? How are we supposed to believe he has any control over the roster when Paul Heyman can walk into his office and treat him like a joke? This is the same problem WWE had with Stephanie McMahon's character for years. Authority figures who constantly get embarrassed, who never get their payback, who are just there to be punching bags for the cool heels. It doesn't work. It creates a situation where nothing matters because there are no real consequences for anyone's actions. And the tragedy of this whole situation is that Adam Pearce is perfect for his role. Before he became an on-screen official, Pearce was a respected indie wrestler, a multiple-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and someone who truly understands the business from every angle. He's paid his dues. He's earned his position. But WWE is booking him like he's some pencil-pushing office worker who's never laced up a pair of boots in his life. They're making him weak when he should be a source of strength and order in the chaos of WWE programming. Let me paint you a picture of what should happen in a working wrestling promotion. Authority figures make matches, they enforce rules, they sometimes get challenged by rebellious wrestlers, but when they do, there are consequences. The authority figure either hands out punishment that sticks, or they get so overwhelmed that someone higher in the power structure has to step in. That's how you maintain hierarchy, that's how you maintain logic in your storytelling. But instead, WWE has created this weird situation where their authority figures are supposed to be in charge, while also being complete pushovers who can be verbally destroyed by literally anyone at any time. Now, let's talk specifically about Paul Heyman, because understanding his character is important to understanding why this situation is so problematic. Paul Heyman is, without question, one of the greatest talkers in professional wrestling history. His work with CM Punk, with Brock Lesnar, with Roman Reigns, it's legendary. The man can sell anything. He can make a mediocre storyline sound like the most important thing in the history of entertainment. But here's what WWE and a lot of fans seem to forget. Being a great talker doesn't mean you should always win every verbal fight. It doesn't mean you should be immune from consequences. It doesn't mean you should be able to destroy people's reputations with zero payback. Great heels work because they eventually get their payback. The audience needs to see them humbled, defeated, put in their place. That's what makes the good guy victory meaningful. That's what creates satisfaction. But modern WWE has this obsession with keeping their cool heels looking strong all the time. They're so afraid that their heels will lose heat if they ever look weak that they sacrifice everyone else's reputation to protect them. And Heyman is the perfect example of this problem. When's the last time Paul Heyman faced real consequences for his actions? When's the last time someone shut him up in a way that actually mattered? When's the last time he was humbled? Oh wait, you can't think of it, can you? Because it doesn't happen. Heyman exists in this protected bubble where he can say whatever he wants, insult whoever he wants, destroy whoever he wants, and nothing ever comes back on him. Sure, occasionally someone will physically attack him. Big deal. He gets knocked down, he sells it like he's been shot with a cannon, and then 2 weeks later he's right back to doing the exact same thing with zero character growth or development. In today's fight with Pearce, Heyman pulled out all the stops. He used his trademark, wordy, intelligent-sounding language to make Pearce look like a fool. He employed his classic strategy of asking questions that make his opponent look foolish no matter how they respond. He used historical references and insider terminology to show off his wrestling knowledge, while at the same time suggesting that Pearce doesn't have that same level of understanding. It was a masterclass in verbal destruction, and that's exactly the problem. Because when you're too good at making someone look bad, when you take them apart so thoroughly that they can't recover, you're not creating compelling television, you're creating a burial. You're taking someone who the audience is supposed to respect and turning them into a joke. Let me take a moment to defend Adam Pearce because I feel like he's getting absolutely screwed by this situation, and someone needs to stand up for the guy. Adam Pearce's wrestling career is truly impressive. He's a 5-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. He's wrestled all over the world. He's faced legends like Harley Race, Terry Funk, and Bret Hart. He's worked in Ring of Honor, in Mexico, in Japan. This is not some random person WWE pulled off a street and put in a suit. More importantly, Pearce understands wrestling. He gets the psychology, the storytelling, the politics. He knows how to protect the business while also creating compelling television. In his role as an on-screen official, he's actually been pretty good at balancing the needs of different storylines and making logical decisions that serve the overall narrative. But WWE keeps putting him in positions where he looks incompetent. They keep having him make announcements that immediately get overturned. They keep having wrestlers bully him with zero consequences. They keep having people like Paul Heyman walk all over him while he just stands there and takes it. And the frustrating thing is that we've seen Pearce stand up for himself before. There have been moments, brief, shining moments, where he's shown a backbone, where he's put his foot down and made a tough decision, where he's physically confronted wrestlers who were getting out of line. But those moments are few and far between, and they never lead to any lasting character growth. It's always 1 step forward, 3 steps back. He'll have 1 moment of strength, and then the next week he's back to being a punching bag. What happened today with Heyman is just the latest example of this pattern, and what makes it even worse is that, according to people who were in the room when this segment was filmed, Pearce actually tried to defend himself during the initial takes. He had responses prepared. He had comebacks that would have made Heyman look like the arrogant bully he is. But guess what? Those takes got thrown out. The version that made it to air was the one where Pearce just stood there, speechless, while Heyman went to town on him. Why? Because WWE wanted to make Heyman look strong, because they wanted to give the wise man a big moment, because Adam Pearce's dignity was apparently expendable in service of putting over Paul Heyman. Now let's talk about the audience reaction to this, because it's fascinating and also deeply troubling. Social media exploded immediately after this segment aired, and the reactions were mixed, to say the least. On one side, you had the Heyman fans absolutely loving it. Paul Heyman is the GOAT. Nobody cuts a promo like the wise man. Heyman just destroyed Pearce. These people were eating it up, treating it like the greatest segment in recent WWE history. On the other side, you had people like me, people who actually care about storytelling consistency and long-term booking, who were absolutely shocked. We were pointing out that this makes no sense, that it damages Pearce's reputation, that it creates more problems than it solves. But here's what really bothered me about the reaction. A significant portion of the audience couldn't tell if they were supposed to be cheering or booing. And that's a massive problem. In professional wrestling, the audience should always know who they're supposed to be rooting for. Heels should do things that make you want to see them get beaten. Good guys should do things that make you want to cheer for them. Authority figures should maintain enough reputation that their decisions matter. But modern WWE has blurred these lines so much that people don't know how to react anymore. Is Heyman a heel we should boo, or is he a cool heel we should cheer? Is Pearce a sympathetic figure we should support, or is he a authority heel we should be happy to see get embarrassed? The confusion is the point, according to some WWE defenders. They'll tell you that morally great characters are